Hi everyone, it's Felicia. So we're continuing our conversation about the 4 principles of a spiritual warrior for my upcoming program, August 20th, at the Scarrett Bennett Center, the Yoga of Action, which is it's basically an inspiration based on the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is an ancient story in the yogic tradition, and inside of that, it's in the Mahabharata, but the Bhagavad Gita is one portion of this. So this yoga, it really is the place where in this story, this great warrior Arjuna is placed upon the battlefield. And his destiny is to be a warrior, but he's placed on this battlefield and he doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to engage with the people across the field because if you know the story, it's a beautiful story, that he is faced across the field with his teachers, his brothers, his cousins, and basically the kingdom is split and there's a big fight and he is the one that's meant to lead the charge. And he comes out to the center of the field and hits fear and doubt and confusion and basically falls to his knees, and this is where his companion, which is Krishna or the divine God, begins to give him the whole teachings about yoga, and this chapter is the Yoga of Action. And in that, he basically talks to Arjuna about his fear and says, there's going to be times of challenge. So this battlefield is representing all of us. And Arjuna has to work in his faith, but he's got to muster up the courage to actually act. And in that, he tells him about that it isn't really about doing anybody else's work, but just doing what he's supposed to do and let go of the attachment of what all that means as far as who's going to survive the war, what it's going to turn into, all of those things, because all of that was beyond his role at that time. So in the story, he is told to just do what he's supposed to do and let go of the results. So this is really the place where a lot of us get into a little bit of, I'd say sometimes a lot of fear. I always tell people, I act in full faith, and sometimes I don't know if I'm just crazy or really courageous, and I think those two are really interconnected for me, so maybe you can relate to that. You're like, so I'm getting guided to go and do this, go to school, open my heart to a new person, start a business, leave a job, right? Anything it is, have a kid, right? Anything. Some of us struggle with day-to-day decisions and fear standing in the way. So I always think that, we get these messages, and faith is that message from inside of you because it's not proven on the outside. That's the whole thing about faith. You don't have a guarantee outcome of anything. It's really the place of the soul, the spirit, and that mustard seed that we talked about before inside of us that's saying, this is meant for you, this is meant for you, this is meant for you. And you can know that. But here's the ingredient that gets you to act upon that, and that really is courage. And I don't want you to think that people who are courageous don't experience fear, because that's not the way that I've learned that. Just like with Arjuna, he's this great warrior, but he's bowing down in the middle of the field like, I don't want to do that. I'm afraid to do that. I don't know what's going to happen if I do. So when you get into those places and you're in full faith, and I experience these all the time, right? I'm in full faith. I know that's what I'm supposed to do, but fear arises because fear is a counterpart of faith. So I must actually add and sprinkle in a little courage. And the courage is the thing that's not going to allow me to give up. Right? Courage is about that voice whispering, don't give up. Sometimes courage is that voice that roars like at you and says, get off your hump and get busy, right? That's a courageous voice. Sometimes your courage is inside saying, open your heart to this person. Even in our practices, they say it takes, in Buddhist tradition, it says meditation is one of the most courageous acts because you're willing to sit with yourself and really see what's going on. So this week, and as you're studying this with me, and maybe you're contemplating coming to Nashville where we're going to have a lot of fun with these principles, is think about what it is right now where you're stalling and add some courage. So courage, sometimes we work up to that. So maybe today you wait one courageous step. Maybe you have one conversation that you've been afraid to have, or you send in one application you haven't done, something along those lines. So take a courageous step. Take your faith, add the ingredient of courage, and see where that will take you, right? And then let me know where it takes you, because it's taking me to some really amazing places. They're not to say they're not difficult, but some amazing places are entering my life. So I offer to you, don't give up. Sprinkle and add into the mix a little courage this week. Have a great week, and I'll see you guys soon.